Welcome to the Center for U.S. War Veterans Oral Histories.
Well, thanks for having me.
We are at the National Guard Militia Museum of New Jersey in Seagirt, a partner of the Library of Congress's Veterans History Project. Today is March 14th, 2016. I am Carol Fowler, Director of the Center, and with me is Dean Medina from Rutgers University. Our honored veteran is Michael P. Quilty, who served with the United States Marine Corps, the 9th Marines, the 3rd Marine Division in the Vietnam War. He served from November of 1964 until December of 1970. Thank you for wanting to be here today, Michael.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Should I call you Mike?
I like proper names.
Michael. That's good. That's my brother's name. Your eyewitness account is considered a primary historical source and a valuable contribution to our Veteran Oral History Project here at the National Guard Militia Museum. And good morning and welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's great to see you. And we should talk about how you heard about us.
Well, my psychologist, Justine Harris, who's associated with Evans' Psychological Banner Squad, gave me a couple of copies of this. And I brought it up to my chapter, that is chapter 12.
The sign-up forms?
Yes.
Copies of that? Okay.
Yes. So I brought it to Dennis and them, but they already knew about it. And Dennis is a president of my chapter, chapter 12. Mm-hmm. We're the oldest and largest chapter in the state of New Jersey, and we keep growing more and more. Myself, I'm on the state council, and I'm the board of directors on chapter 12.
Oh.
And I'm running for second vice president for the state board of state council.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Take us back to life prior to service. Had anyone in your family served before you?
My father was in the Army, but never talked about it. He was a tech sergeant, and like I said, he never talked about it, so I don't know where he was stationed, but he was a tech sergeant in the Army. That's as far as I know, that's all I know about his military career. He came over from Ireland when I was 13 years old.
I kind of hear a brogue in your voice.
Well, everybody says that. I always say it's my New York accent. I said, no, you got a brogue. I said, well, have it your way.
I just kind of heard that when you said he came over from Ireland.
Yes. Everybody says I got a brogue. All right. It's not bad to have.
No, not at all. Especially this week, St. Patrick's.
Yes. Oh, yes. We marched in a parade in Belmont 2 weeks ago, my chapter, and it was over 200,000 people, they said, at that parade.
Wow. I had no idea.
And yesterday, I had to go to the meet up in Lake Park for the state council. But a lot of our guys marched in the Rumson Parade yesterday.
Right.
You know, and then we got Seabright coming up. Not Seabright,
Highlands?
Spring Lake. Spring Lake coming up, you know.
Okay, so your dad had served in the Army.
Yes.
And you said he never talked about it. And you had been working before
The service?
Before the service?
Yes.
Okay. And then how did you come to be in the Marines?
Well, I always wanted to join the Marine Corps anyway. What it was 8 of us are hanging around together in the neighborhood, and we go and do nothing with our lives. And after a couple of drinks, we got loose tongues. The guys started talking about the draft, and they didn't want to be drafted in the Army. So we made like a pact, and 3 of the guys went in the Air Force, 3 of the guys went in the Navy, and myself and my buddy Ray Higgins joined the Marine Corps together.
You said the neighborhood in Jersey?
Yes, East Kingsburg, more or less, North Middletown, you want to call it.
Okay. And so where did the Marines first send you? Paris Islands?
Paris Island, yes.
And what kind of adjustment was that?
It was December 23rd, 1964, 2 days before Christmas. What it was, I joined November 24th, but they called me up and wanted to know if I would be willing to go the last shipment date of 1964, which was December 23rd. I would get 3 years active as opposed to 4 years active. So I took them up on that offer. So 2 days before Christmas, I figured I was going to be in Vietnam Christmas time anyway. So with that, I graduated in March of '65. Went to AIT, which is Advanced Infantry Training, for a month at Camp Geiger, North Carolina. After a couple of weeks home, I was...
Is that camp? That's not Camp Lejeune.
That's part of Camp Lejeune.
Oh.
Outside of Camp Lejeune, yeah. Camp Geiger.
How'd you do? How did you do? with AIT and...
Oh, I loved it. Qualified to shoot all the weapons and all that stuff. I loved that duty. Was there for like a month, and then you were allowed to go home for a week or so, and then when you got back to base, you were sent to Vietnam. I knew I was going to Vietnam. I didn't know what to expect.
Were your instructors from Vietnam?
I'm sorry?
Your instructors, were they combat veterans?
Well, I don't know if they were combat vets, but I know a year ago, I got my laptop and tried to hunt down my DIs.
Wow.
And I located one, but he lost his life a year after in Vietnam. So 66.
Oh.
Yes. I graduated boot camp 65, so he must have went to Vietnam not too long after our group graduated.
Right.
And he lost his life in 1966. I see it on the bio.
Oh, tragic.
And I couldn't locate the other Staff Sergeant Tadlock, Nehemiah, Pope, and Sergeant Gould was the one that lost his life.
So what an impression they must have made on you that you remember their names.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good at names, very good at names.
Oh, that's great. And it wasn't much of an adjustment for you to go from civilian to military life?
Oh, absolutely, We want any kids will be with it, and then you get the eye awakening when you walk into boot camp there, so absolutely, yes,
Okay.
yes. You can definitely get an education.
Oh, okay. Any stories from...
And no arguments either, you can't argue with anything.
Oh, okay. Any stories from boot camp?
Well, I misbehaved, I guess you want to call it, and as a punishment, we had a puppy as a mascot, and I was forced to get on my knees and eat an apple pie that they got from the mess hall with the dog as punishment in front of the whole.
What do you mean with the dog?
Eat the apple pie with the dog.
Oh, he ate the pie too. Oh no.
Yeah, and you can't argue with that. You can't say no. I don't want to do it. That's part of boot camp. Yeah.
Oh gosh. That's probably because you didn't have a buckle shined or something? You didn't have like your equipment perfectly lined up?
Yeah, something like that, yes. Well, they find the slightest thing to punish you somehow,
Oh, sure. All right, so you graduated. Did your family come down for that?
No, nobody came down for that, no. I didn't tell them I was graduating, and because I know they weren't going to make the trip anyway, They were happy. My father was really proud of me. He never said that all these years until he was last few days of his life in the hospital.
That's
He
incredible.
said, Michael, I never told you, but I'm very proud of how you turned yourself and your life around.
How incredible.
That's deep,
Very deep.
Yeah, yes. My father wasn't a what do you call it? A
Expressive?
giving type. There was never any love. Anything we did was stupid. There's 10 in my family. I have 5 sisters and 4 brothers right now. My sister Kathleen was killed in New York by a car when she was 5 years old in New York in '61.
Sad.
So my father said, we're going to move out of the city. And we wound up going to move into Kingsbury in 1961.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I now have 5 sisters and 4 brothers. So a big family. I'm the second oldest. My sister Terry's the oldest.
Wow.
Yes.
All right, so you said you knew you were going to Vietnam. How did your family feel about you going?
Well, they really didn't, my father, what it was, my father allowed me to quit school to join the military. I was surprised, I was shocked he did that. He made a stipulation, make sure you join the military. So I did that,
Did he ever use his benefits, or you don't know?
Oh yeah, GED. Yeah, I got that in the service.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let's move on to how you got to Vietnam.
Well, we went over by ship. We were the 2nd Marine Detachment to go over there in '65. So I was there very early. And I always felt I was very fortunate to be there so early.
I agree. Yeah.
I mean, there was nothing there. We had to build foxholes and fortifications and stuff like that. In fact, we had F-14s over there. I never had the F-16 in my hands.
We didn't talk about where you landed.
Well, we landed, a bunch of us landed in Da Nang.
Show us on the map.
What Da Nang is, that's what I'm looking for. I-Corps, what's I-Corps? What's I-Corps? Chulai's there, right there, Chulai right there. But Da Nang's down here. And the third went to Chulai, and the third stayed Da Nang, and the third went to Fulbai.
All right, let me make sure I get all that down. Da Nang, Fubai, Chulai.
Chulai. And I was one that went to Chulai.
And that's where they would launch and recover the planes? Did you build the airstrip?
No, oh no, the Seabees did. The Seabees did that within 20 days. It's amazing what they accomplished. Mm-hmm. And the VC was always trying to destroy, and they managed to destroy two jets and damage a lot of other ones. And along with that, I received a shrapnel wound in the lower leg.
Do you still suffer from that?
Somewhat, but try not to dwell on it.
Okay, what was your baptism by fire?
It's eye awakening, there's no cops and games anymore now, so this is a life and death situation.
When the VC would hit the airstrip, was that your first hit?
Oh, yes, right, yeah.
Time with the enemy?
Yeah.
And what was a typical day like for you in Chulai?
I can't remember. I was telling the young man before, amnesia, or what do you want to call it? I just can't remember what I did over there. I know I was in supply most of the time. I was in charge of not charge, but I worked in the armory. I dealt with a lot of body bags from Operation Starlite, which I was on. And that was sad to witness.
How often did the VC attack the airstrip?
We didn't have too much of a situation there in our area, but further down on I-Corps they were. Because like I said, we were very early. And we got wind that they were going to try to destroy so we knew prehand that they were going to come in. So more or less we were ready for them.
So when you say I-Corps, are you talking about a region?
Yes, there's I-Corps 2 Corps, 3 Corps, and 4 Corps, which is the heavy down here by Cambodia and all that. And there's 1 Corps up here, 2, 3, and 4 Corps.
Okay. Are you ready to talk about Operation Starlite?
No, it's not much to talk about here. The action,
The Battle of Van Tuong. Were you in Van Tuong?
No, just Starlite, more or less. Like I said, I was very early there. Starlite was the first major operation in Vietnam.
Right.
Which was a successful operation.
Regimental size.
Yeah, in fact, all our operations were successful.
And it was purely U.S., it wasn't with the ARVN?
No.
Were you ever with the ARVN
No,
when you were down there?
not my area.
That must have been later.
Mm.
And it was based on intelligence?
Yes. How they go into it, I don't know, but
The South Vietnamese forces in the Northern I-Corps.
I mean, they would have destroyed a lot of jets if we had no word of it or no information on that.
Okay. And do you know what your role in that was? Can you talk about it?
Well, try to defend the airstrip, more or less, return fire.
How long did it last?
Oh, it's like 40 minutes, I guess, something like that, but it seemed like forever.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It seemed like forever. Just never stopped. That was an eye-awakening, the first time in a situation like that, We're all young kids over there, really,
That's right.
We thought we were tough guys.
You were a teenager.
But now, yeah, exactly, 18 years old. Now you're facing life-to-death situations.
So it was ground, air, and naval units?
Yes. Not so much naval, but ground and air.
Okay.
How much did you feel your training prepared you for combat?
Oh, I was ready to go because just came out of boot camp, gung ho, simplify, do or die.
How did you do with the terrain and the humidity and all
Well,
that?
as soon as you landed, you felt the heat. It was always wet season or hot season. The monsoons, everything was wet. That was like for 40 days. And you just got used to it, you deal with it,
Did you have enough, were you resupplied adequately?
Yes, after a while, like I said, I was there very early, and they started, a month or so later, they started bringing supplies in. So,
But with the monsoons, you would need fresh.
that was later on,
clothing?
while I was over there,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How often did people get sick there as a result of the weather and terrain?
Well, they had a first-rate hospital there,
Well, that's good.
by China Beach,
Is this U.S. or?
You give all the accolades to the nurses and the doctors there, tremendous efforts, sacrifices of their time,
Is this a U.S.
training.
hospital or South Vietnamese?
It was a
American.
hospital,
American.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, so getting back to Operation Starlight, did you get inserted by helicopter?
No, we trucked in a part of it and then we marched to the rest of the way. It was like 20 miles from Chulai,
How long did that take? Half a day?
That lasted a couple of days, that operation, but it was a...
No, I mean, how long did it take to march and get there by truck?
I was thinking an hour, I guess, the way we get there, the terrain and all that stuff.
Did you have to deal with the jungle?
Somewhat, yeah. Rice paddies, a lot of rice
Oh,
paddies.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And submarines, some of the Marines came in amphibiously? Would that be from the ocean? I mean, the China Sea?
No.
No, okay. It says the operation was originally called Satellite, but a power blackout led to a clerical error, and a clerk working by candlelight typed Starlight instead.
Oh, is that right? I wasn't aware of that.
No. It's typical though, right? I mean, these things happen, right?
Typo.
Yeah, human error.
Typo, right?
Oh, wow, it involved 5,500 Marines.
Oh, yes, oh, yeah. We were the first ones over there, Marines. We were second Marine detachment, my group. There was a group before us, and it was basically just Marines in that area. And then eventually they wound up, the Army came in and took over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like how you said that you were victorious every time you did battle.
Well, we won every battle.
Yeah.
They said we got talked down to how we lost the war and all that stuff. We didn't lose the war. The politicians lost the war.
That was a false perception, yeah.
The politicians lost the war. We won every battle we were in.
Right, I've heard
Our hands
veterans
were
say
tied.
that.
They wouldn't let us do this and that.
Yeah,
If they would have let us to take over what we were willing to do,
right.
it wouldn't have lasted as long as it did. A lot of lives could have been saved, and I feel sad about that. I feel
Yeah.
angry about that.
I understand that because our troops weren't allowed to cross certain borders, but the
Cambodia,
enemy
right? But they
kept their
can, yeah,
supplies
exactly,
right there.
exactly. Politics again.
So I keep getting back to Operation Starlight. That's your big one. Permission was granted to use Special Landing Force and assault the VC base near Van Tuong. And you said it was by surprise because they weren't expecting, they didn't know you had the intelligence.
No, they didn't know that, no. So we prevented a lot of casualties
Right.
and damages.
Okay. Thinking back on this battle, do you still have dreams about it, or?
Once in a while I get fried like with the Hueys. We have with the dedication with the Huey down in Homedale. And none of us were, I guess a few were aware of it, most of us weren't aware of it. With the dedication of UE, that a real UE fly over very low, you talk about flashbacks, you know. So, but that's a tremendous memorial down there in home there. Have you ever been there yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been there.
You have to go.
Oh, I'll tell you.
So that would make you think of, was it medevacs, or was that Marines getting inserted into the battle?
Well, that also meant they saved a lot of lives, the UEs. They were blessing those machines, you know, and thank God for those pilots, you know.
What about the F-4 fighter jets, like what we have out front?
Yeah, I seen that out there, yeah. We had the Skyhawks or something like that. I forgot the name of them. Skyhawks or something. There was 2 or 3 different names they had for the jets that we had over there.
You had F-4 fighter jets that dropped cluster bombs. It resulted in an avalanche on the hillside that wiped out many of the attacking rifle and mortar squads.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, okay.
It's my understanding that the helicopters, the Hueys, are big in Vietnam. They were.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
How many in the sky did you see at a time? Dozens or a couple? Like, on average, how many were in the sky at the same time that you could see?
Well, it's hard to count it. You know, some of them were just coming in supply, some were coming in to drop troops off.
But they were everywhere.
Yeah, oh yeah. There were multiple. Because we were on the airstrip, they were on the airstrip. I don't know how many there was there.
Right.
Which company were you?
3rd Marine Division.
No, company.
Oh, third company. In Paris Island.
3-3?
My platoon number was 3009, S Company.
Oh, S company.
Yeah. In Paris Island, 3009 was my platoon.
What was your opinion of the enemy? Did you see, like, how did you...
After a while, you know, they were terrific fighters, I'll tell you
Right.
that, you know. They lost tons of lives, you know. But you realize that what we did over there wasn't worth the effort, because they're back to square one again.
Right.
Vietnam is running it all over the South Koreans, and that's what we were fighting for. Try to make it independence.
Right, democratic society.
Yes.
So you had wished you had stayed, the U.S. stayed longer instead of pulling out.
Well, 75 was the last,
Right.
you know.
You wish that they had more freedom
Yes.
to
Operate.
use their training
Right.
instead of have it be a political war.
Well, that's what it turned out to be. Our hands were tied. We couldn't do this, we couldn't do that, you know.
Right,
And I feel if the military let us take care of business, it would have been done earlier.
right.
We'd have lost all those lives, and unfortunately.
Okay. What was your opinion of the weaponry that you had?
I love the M14. Like I said, I never had the M16 in hand, which became the weapon of choice.
Why did you love the M14?
It was a perfect record. I qualified expert on the firing range when we qualified for the in boot camp.
Uh-huh.
But they realized it was too heavy for the bush, too heavy to lug.
Right.
So they modified. They came up with the M16s. And the sad part about that was the F-16 were jamming up the first ones, and they lost a lot of lives by that.
Right.
And they kept modifying the F-16, but I never had the 16 in my hand. That's how early I was.
So the M14 was reliable, never jammed on you.
No. I always felt that was a great weapon. Now they got more advanced technology weapons now, you know.
But there's a lot of stories when you were there, the M16 not being reliable.
Oh, yes. When they first came out, there was a lot of them jamming up. And they modified them 4 or 5 times, you know. But they became a weapon of choice at that time.
So you couldn't really fight once the sun went down, right? Because you just would set up defensive positions?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And
a lot of times I stood guard duty on the airstrip when we were off duty.
Oh, okay. But were you told to shoot anything that moved at night?
Well, we were told, jokingly, they told us don't shoot at doors because they got mine satchels on their backs. You know, yeah, stuff like that. You know, but when you guard duty at night, you think you see visions. It's a mindset. You know, you think you see things moving, which are not moving, but you're looking out there so long.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's hard to explain, but that's
No, it's
Your
tough,
mind's
right?
playing tricks on you.
yeah, exactly. You go right.
And you're
yeah, mind games.
exhausted,
Yeah, oh yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So the VC had dogs with them?
No, we were just told that. You
Oh,
know.
okay.
We were just told that don't shoot dogs. They would make a joke of it. We didn't know that. We're all green over there. You know, all new guys.
And you said you did have some contact with the jungle. What about with the wildlife there?
Well, the rice paddy mostly.
the rice paddy.
Shortly for the jungles. You know.
And they
My area is mostly rice paddies where I was too. Like, you know.
Wasn't it unhealthy to be in the rice paddy because of what they use for fertilizer?
Absolutely. That's where Agent Orange came about. I mean, we're fighting a big battle trying to get approval on the state and House of Representatives for Agent Orange to admit that the toxin had destroyed a lot of military personnel, plus what it affects is the children and grandchildren. And that's what we're fighting for.
Right. All right, so what other battles were you in? Or you said that you defended the airstrip.
When they came in at night, one night they came in, the one night I was called to active duty, or how you want to call it. They destroyed 2 jets and they hit it like hit and miss, hit and ran.
Right, that
Yeah,
was
so-
typical guerrilla warfare.
Exactly, right,
Yeah.
right, yeah. They were tough fighters at night. They owned the night, we owned the day. That was the old saying, you know.
That's right, yeah.
You know, you're firing, but you don't know if you're hitting anything, you know.
And what about tracers? When you fire, you give away your position, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely, yes, absolutely.
How long were those night duties?
It was short, like 20, 30, 40 minutes, you know, they were there and then out, you know. That's how they worked. Hit and run, hit and run.
And what about bunkers and caves? Did you find
Well,
those?
bunkers, we built a lot of bunkers up. Like I said, when we got there, there was nothing there at all. We built foxhouses, bunkers, fortifications around the airstrip, you know. And like I said, the Seabees built that within 20, 30 days, that airstrip. So a tremendous job they did there.
So would you go in there during a battle, the bunker?
I'm sorry?
When would you go in the bunker?
Well, at night, when you had the guard duty, there was always 2 guys in the bunker, or foxhole you want to call it.
So it
And sometimes it was 50% of the night where one guy was able to sleep a couple hours. If it's 100% of the light, then you gotta stay, both of you gotta stay up.
did any guards ever fall asleep?
Oh, yeah, all the time, yeah, all the time.
Would anything happen to them?
No, it's just, because you're running you're on go all day.
So you lived at the airbase, I'm assuming, the airstrip.
Well, off the airbase, the airbase wasn't too far from where our location was. I'll put it that way, you know.
Do you mind telling us what life was like conditions of living there?
You know, it went by so fast. I was there 14 months, well, 13 months in Vietnam and a month in Okinawa. You just got used to it, you know. You dealt with it, and before you know, you were home, you know.
You were there from 65 to 66?
That's what it's in Vietnam, right?
And you were only in July, really?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Let's see. And a month in Okinawa. Well, first let's say, what was it like as your time was getting short?
Was what?
Your time was getting short. What was that like? in
Oh,
Vietnam?
elation, you know, elation. Yeah. But nowadays, you know, I always felt guilt because why did I make it home and not, you know? Because sometimes you go on a little skirmish mission, you come back and I just realized this a couple of months ago, I came back, empty bunkers, empty beds rather, cots. Never to be used again, you know, from the ones that were, they lost their lives, in other words. So that was, you know, sad.
Right.
And I always felt guilty about that. You know, why did I make it not so-and-so, you know? They call it some kind of
Survivor's
guilt feeling. Yes, there you go, survivor's right. Right.
Well, my answer to that is that you honor them by becoming a husband, a dad, a grandfather,
Yes.
and that's how you honor their memory.
Okay, thank you for
is
that.
That
Yeah.
you live your life
Well, thank you for that, yeah.
for them.
Right.
You know, I go to support group in Lakewood around 70 every Tuesday. I'm going almost 6 years. And we're all Vietnam veterans. And it's about 30 of us. And we tell things to each other that we would never say outside. You know,
Right.
it's just a tremendous group, and I look forward to it.
That's
It helps
great.
me, helps a lot of all military, you know, with the Army, Navy, you know, they break my chops and I break their chops, you know. Army, I said Army means aren't really Marines yet, you know, jawhead and all that, you know. You seagull bellhops and all they call us, you know. I go back here, we're part of the Navy, we're the men's department.
Oh, funny.
So it's good fun back and
Good
forth, you know.
banter, right?
Yeah. There's only about 500 Marines, they both pick on us all the time. Marines never knew how to count and all this stuff, but we dealt with it. But I look forward to going to a support group every Tuesday.
That's
Oh,
great.
sure.
It helps.
I imagine. Yeah.
And we tell the kids at the school project, you guys are our therapy, you know. And it's nice at the end of the session, they come up and say, thank you for your service and all that stuff. It's just a tremendous feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So on the 23rd, this month, we'll be going to Manalapan. So
Oh, okay.
look forward to that. And with that, they called me, Ernie ready to my co-instructor, told them I was going to sing the national anthem. I do it at a couple of schools over the intercom before the morning, after the morning announcements.
Wow.
Yeah, so I sing a lot. I've been known to carry a tune, as they say.
Well, now I think we should have him sing something for us today on camera.
It's up to you.
Did you ever get recorded singing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And you said Ernie. Who's that?
Ernie Diorio. He's a chap. He's the first president of our chapter.
He's one of my veterans.
Oh, yeah, yeah, you go.
Yeah, from a while back.
Oh, really? Oh, my God, yeah.
I was
Great guy.
Yes, I was about to say I'm sending you off today with another sign-up form to bring to Lakewood. And I have a feeling I have veterans there too.
Okay.
I'll remind me after we're done.
Okay, very good.
To mention their names. I don't want to have to do it now.
Dennis Beauregard,
No,
Tony Capella.
no.
Oh, you're talking about the school, the area?
No, your Lakewood group.
Oh, the Lakewood. I think you're talking about my chapter group. Well, I know Carmela Bagnello.
Percoretta?
Yeah, Bagnello.
That's what I was going to say.
Another Marine. He came on Tuesday. He told me he'd been there already, you know, here.
He's the newest one, yeah?
Yeah. He's going to, what's he going to Italy for a couple of weeks, I think he said, yeah.
Yeah, he was born in Sicily.
Yeah. Danny Higgins? No, he's one of our chapter members, plus a support group member. Okay.
You'll have to get him for me.
I will, yeah.
Oh, one last thing about Operation Starlight. The lessons learned from the battle include the knowledge that the daily allotment of 2 gallons of water per man was inadequate in the heat of Vietnam, and that the M14 rifle was too bulky for troops
Yes.
cramped into small personnel carriers.
Yes, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. They were kind of heavy, but I always thought they were great weapons, you know. But,
Just big.
yeah, exactly, yeah, right.
So
Like
how
I said,
much,
bulky, yeah.
how much water would you need if 2 gallons was not adequate a day?
We had to drink a lot of water.
Even 1 or 2
Yeah,
gallons?
it's hot.
How do you carry that much water though? I could get it trucked in.
Well, they have, yeah, like, what do you call it, water buffaloes, big tanks of water, you know,
Oh, right.
yeah.
Do you have any other stories from Vietnam? Did you have contact with the civilians? Did you have any downtime?
Well, I'll tell you a funny story. I used to cut it, red hair I always called it orange hair. And one time I was sitting into town, very early, like I said, and with 4 of us, and we're sitting around with Mama and Papa having tea.
Papa-san?
Yeah, Papa's on, Mama and Papa. And a couple of young kids around, they're all laughing and roughing. And before you know it, one come up behind me, touched my hair, they don't see the red-headed guy, you know, so, and the older kids, woo-hoo-hoo. Another thing, I formed a singing group over there, myself and two brothers and an Italian guy, we formed a singing group over there, and Officer of the Day one time told, why don't you come and perform at the Officers Club, which we did,
Oh.
you know, a cappella, oldies, doo-wops, you know,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
That's great.
So you've been singing a long time.
I wake up singing, I tell everybody, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I wake up singing.
You must have been like that as a child as well, right?
I always loved singing, yeah.
Oh, okay.
In fact, with the support group now, I'm going to be taking bucket list. I'm going to take guitar lessons.
Well, I'm a musician myself, I'll play guitar.
Yeah. This is a 12-week course. It's one-on-one. And then after you complete the course, you get a guitar. They present you with your own guitar.
Ah,
So I'm looking forward to that. It's like a bucket
that
list.
sounds like fun.
We'll have to have some entertainment at our luncheon this year.
Absolutely. That's what Charlie, a clinician over the sport group, he wants to start a band or a group. Because he has his own group, Charlie, our clinician. He has his own band. But he's trying to get us all to participate so we can come up with this set of songs that we can perform.
That's great. All right, so you flew out of Vietnam to Okinawa.
We landed in San Diego.
I thought you said you were in Okinawa for a month.
That, before we went over to Vietnam.
Oh, before. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I went to Okinawa for R&R. At that time, Thailand was just opening up, so nobody knew too much about Thailand as far as R&R, rest of relaxation. Everybody was allowed a week of that.
And then Australia too, right?
I'm sorry?
Hong Kong, Australia.
Australia,
Hawaii.
yes. That was later on, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how was your R&R?
It was great, restaurant, you know, being I knew somewhat of Okinawa, because I was there prior to the R&R, you know.
That's good. And what was your homecoming like?
Well, I surprised everybody. Didn't tell them I was coming home. I'm walking down the road and my mother was painting in the living room, and my sister was screaming, Mommy, Michael's coming down the road. Ah, get out of here. So I surprised him. I wasn't telling him I was coming home. So it was nice surprise.
Wow.
And we had good home cooked meal.
Missed that, huh?
Yeah. But you got used to the sea rations. You got to improvise with the sea rations.
Oh, I meant to ask, did people keep in touch with you? Send you care packages or write letters?
The funny story, there was a place I used to hang out with, Charlie and Anza. It was like a luncheon, that type of place. And we all had a pool table, we all had our own pool cues. And I left my pool cue over there when I went overseas. And Charlie said if everybody would use they would have to write me a little note or a postcard, which they did. So I always thank Charlie and Ann for that, you know. Sweetheart, nice people.
That's great. And then you were still in the service?
I'm sorry?
You went into the reserves in '67, so you still had time, another year or so that you had to serve here?
Well, it's inactive reserve, yeah, inactive. It's active and inactive. I had 3 years active and 3 years inactive.
So what was your third year active? What were you doing?
Well, I was sent to Norfolk, Virginia, Camp Elmore.
Camp?
Camp Elmore, which is a part of the small Marine detachment part of the Navy base there in Norfolk, Virginia.
What was your job?
The supplies and all that stuff that we're, you know.
And when you got discharged, did they try to get you to sign up again?
Oh, absolutely.
And?
And I just told them if it wasn't for the petty stuff, I would have definitely probably would have joined up again, you know. I was E4, and they told me I was going to get E5 if I signed up and all this stuff, you know. I said, no, not for me, thank you anyway, you know.
Because you probably would have had to go over again, right?
Well, that wasn't my problem. I wasn't thinking about that at all, but sometimes I wish I would have stayed in. Because I always say where I would have been, who I would have met, who I would have seen. You know, like in Vietnam, I wish I could have done more over there. I'm proud of what I did over there, but I wish I could have done more. But like I said, I always said I was very fortunate to be there early.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
And did you use your GI benefits? Did you get a mortgage for a house? Did you?
No. I used it as a apprentice, 4-year apprenticeship, and it was a glass factory I worked at my first job, and when I came back.
Oh, okay.
How do you feel your military training shaped you for your civilian life later?
Well, a lot of this woke me up, got the soldier side of me, I think, you know. Made a man of us, you know, because you had the awakening overseas. You realize the reality. It's not fun and games anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you come home, you started getting a job, looking for a job. You know, I had 2 jobs, in fact, 2 full jobs, just to keep my mind occupied. Got married, had 3 sons. So in our support group, we all talk about 40 years. All these years we had nothing to think about. All of a sudden, now we got idle time and everything's coming back.
Oh.
Flashbacks. Sitting idle in my apartment. That's what my psychologist and my psychiatrist tells me all the time. You gotta stay out of the apartment, you gotta keep yourself busy.
Yeah.
So that's why I was interested in being second vice president of state of New Jersey State Council of the Vietnam Veterans of America.
When did you join the Vietnam Veterans of America?
Oh, almost 30 years now. I've been
So it was sometime after.
86 or something like that.
And do you remember why you joined or how that came about?
No, I think one of the guys from the local VFW told me about the vet center down there. Not the vet center, but the group.
So first you joined the VFW?
I didn't join the VFW until later on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was it around the time of the Washington Memorial, the Vietnam Wall in Washington?
No, I've never been at the wall. I've been a lot of times in Homedale, but never been in one in Washington. You know,
Why not?
I do have to. I don't know. I have to make that. I have to make that trip.
Special reason.
Yeah, I have to make that trip. I've been a number of times in the one at Homedale. In fact, well, my group, along with Home Depot, we wash the wall down twice a year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, yeah. Home Depot is tremendous. They more or less supply all the equipment, all the manpower, all the hours. And this, I'm not talking about workers, I'm talking about supervisors come down. They are tremendous. And whatever we want, they give and give and give, and then give more. So I can't say enough about Home Depot.
That's great. Wow. So you already told us that you go to and speak in the schools.
Yes.
So one of my normal questions is this the most that you've ever talked about it? But you're in the support group and you go in the schools.
Yes.
So you're constantly talking about it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't talk to anybody outside. Like when I was receiving a couple of awards a number of years ago, one of the guys said, I belong to an Elks in Middletown. I never talked about my mills. I never talked I was in the service. So they were pretty surprised about that when they found out must have been in the papers. And Q, they call me Q because there's so many mics in my Middletown Lodge that they call me by my last initial, Q, and it works. So Q, we didn't know you were in the service. We didn't know you were in the Marines. We didn't know you were in Vietnam. So one of the guys, did you ever kill anybody? Well, with that, I took a bow face and I left. I couldn't take it no more with that kind of questions. He keeps apologizing. Even till to this day, he still apologizes about that remark.
Oh, I thought you meant you left the Elks.
I did. That night, that day I did.
Oh, but you stayed in the
Yeah,
Elks.
I'm a 33-year member now of the Elks.
Yeah, we're told that that's a common question when vets go into the schools. The kids ask those questions.
Oh, yes, they do. But we tell the kids right off the bat that certain questions we won't answer, you know. And I was telling the gentleman over here that the first school, we have a collage of Vietnam before and after. And along with the collage, Lee Greenwood, Proud to be American. And I sing that along with the collage. But because honestly, everybody knows that singing out loud. And they'll look at me when I'm singing, and near the end of the song, they all decide they're going to sing into it now, you know. But a lot of them are a little shy because of their peers, you know.
It's an easier song to sing, I think, than the national anthem.
Oh, I sing both of them, so. For Flag Day, Summer at the Office, I sing both of them.
Is there anything else that you would like to say about what you learned from your experiences?
No, you know, it's just like I said, I'm just thinking about the loss of lives that could have been prevented. That's always in the back of my mind, you know. So that's all I can say about that, you know.
It's like you're trying to make sense of what happened.
Yeah, it was a war. I mean, we left everything there. It's just, I don't know, it was a waste of time, like Afghanistan and Iraq. Same situation. I can't imagine what those troops are going through. Loss of limbs.
Right.
Unbelievable. And then suicide rate is, I don't know if it's true, but they told me that 22 veterans commit suicide every day.
It's true.
That's why support groups are so important.
Is that unbelievable?
I just heard on the radio there's the biggest rally in history about suicide prevention in New York. It's coming up.
The walk at night?
I think
Yeah, the night, 60-mile walk? Yeah, yeah.
Mike, I want to say that Dean and I are honored and humbled that you're here today to speak to us.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Your sacrifices and your contribution in service to our country, thank you. God bless you. Welcome home.
God bless you too. Thank you so much. Very
Thank
kind.
you.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you. You're very kind.
My life, my love, that is my dream. Life is but a dream, it's what you make it. Always try to give, don't ever take it. Life has its music, life has a song of love. It's song of love. Life is but a dream, and I dream of you, strange as it seems. All night I see you. I'm trying to tell you just what you mean to me. Love you with all my heart. I adore you and all of your charms. I want you to do your part. Enjoy. Come here to my open arms. Life is but a dream, and we could live it. We could make a love, not to compare it. Will you take part in my life, my love? That is my dream. Oh, it's right.
It's okay.
Oh, that's right. I should take it before I started singing.
Wow.
It's wonderful.
This is way better, 30 million times better than I can say.
Thanks again.
I'm sorry, a little dry here. But
Don't worry about it.
Beautiful.
It was amazing.
That's my favorite song to sing. I sang at my son's wedding. They went nuts.
Yeah, I can see why.
I think he'll sing that at our luncheon.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
Thank you.